Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, FDA approved for over 20 years. So, talk to your specialist to see if Botox Cosmetic is right for you.
For full prescribing information, including boxed warning, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
Remember to ask for Botox Cosmetic by name. To see for yourself and learn more, visit BotoxCosmetic.com. That's BotoxCosmetic.com.
Every day, supporters like you help the American Cancer Society improve the lives of people with cancer. Help end cancer as we know it for everyone. Visit cancer.org to make a life-saving gift.
All right. Welcome back to the Misfit Nation. Last episode, we got to hear from Charlie Jones and Dennis Schrader and spoke about their ventures. Thank you for being on, and keep us posted on your ventures in the future. Our first guest this episode is Jenny Gracia, a Navy spouse who has a passion for helping others. She saw a need and a way to help others and has driven forward with this passion. Without further ado, let's get Jenny on the show.
I'm Rich. I started the Misfit Nation about a month ago.
Okay.
This is probably my 10th interview now, and it's starting to get a little better. A little more equipment and stuff is helping out, of course. And, of course, getting a lot of veterans to jump in and tell their story is actually helping out a lot. Amazing. So with that, would you like to tell your story from how you started your service or wherever point through your service to where you are now?
So, as I put on my essential oils right now, I'm just diffuse. Okay. I am a military spouse, and I met my husband when we were in high school 15 years ago. Oh my gosh, more. It's like 16, 17. Am I giving away my age now? So we have been married for 6 years almost, and we've lived in a bunch of places. My favorite one was Japan.
Oh, yes.
Yes, Japan. If you haven't gone, you have to go. If any of the listeners have not gone, please make sure that's on your bucket list. I would go back to Japan in a heartbeat.
Writing it down now.
Being a military spouse, being part of a military family, whether you're a service member, spouse, a child, or any kind of family member, you go through so many different experiences, and honestly, I wouldn't change it at all. I wouldn't change any of the sacrifices because it's exactly what I personally needed, and I wish that more people would understand what our lifestyle is like. I feel that the pandemic actually showed people what it's like, because I didn't feel any changes with the pandemic much. I'm like, well, I never get to see my family anyway.
That's a good point.
What's an anniversary? What's a birthday?
It's just another phone call.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, but this time I can actually Zoom call. I can see your face.
Technology has helped you out a little bit now.
Oh, goodness gracious. I'm kind of glad that the whole world is seeing what it's really like. Welcome to our world. Welcome to our daily life, where it's full of uncertainty, where we never know where we're going to be in a year or two. Before Pensacola, we were in San Diego, and I was supposed to be there for a few years. And just life changed. And then my husband said, we're going to Guam. And then the next month he said, never mind, just kidding. We're going to Pensacola.
Wow. That's about the same kind of climate, I guess.
Right. So it's just showing people that we are an extremely resilient tribe, and I feel like almost a species. It takes a really special kind of person to be part of this lifestyle. It's not for everyone.
You're right there. My third and fourth episode was dedicated to the role of the family in the military. So if you listen to that, you'll hear the same things you're saying from my wife, and then Dr. Judy Staley also. She served 20 years, 10 with the Air Force and 10 with the Navy, with her husband, the pilot.
Mm-hmm.
So she had a lot of stuff to tell us about what she went through, my wife as well. And now you, as a current spouse, can actually add to that conversation a lot more because we're in it right now.
Absolutely. This is the first time in 6 years that my husband and I are actually living together full time.
Wow. Congratulations.
I still can't believe it. Sometimes, like today, he has duty, so I won't get to see him until 10 o'clock. Well, sorry, I almost said 2200, but for 10 o'clock p.m. And I said, wait, I get to see you today? Oh my goodness, how exciting.
You still see him within 24 hours. That's a lot better than not seeing at all.
I got used to not seeing him for months at a time. And that's when you take for granted, like, oh, dinner with another human?
Not just me in your picture.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many Skype dates and Zoom dates we've had. Even my birthday, where it was like, well, I can't make it to you this time, but I'll be there next month, and just meeting each other in different ports.
Oh, wow.
So before this, let me see, it was 2 years ago, I went a year and a half traveling. I didn't spend more than 3 weeks in any given location.
Wow. Nomadic.
So maybe that makes sense now. Child of the world.
Yeah.
When we were in Japan that summer, I actually went to 7 different countries. And that's just because I'm also an entrepreneur, and launching my business and then launching a second business in the middle of a pandemic, I thought was initially the scariest thing. But now the way I look at it is, you know what? If the military hasn't been able to destroy me,
you can't either.
Let me show you who's boss.
Way to step forward and put that foot on your throat. That's the way to do it.
We have no choice, and it's just been such a blessing. I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity. My company is focused on using plant-based products and natural healing. We focus on PTSD.
Okay.
And so that's why I was extremely fortunate to go all over the different USOs and just everywhere, anywhere that a person was just willing to let me serve them and their family, I was there.
That's awesome. So did you have a lot of Pacific Rim bases out of Japan, or did you go back states with the train?
I went everywhere. So we were in Japan when I started out with essential oils, and it was a completely new world to me. I had no idea about anything, and I just slowly started seeing a change in my own husband's shipmates, and they weren't on that. It's sad to say, but if you don't know, the suicide rate is very, very high. It's probably number 1, number 2 in the military.
Yes.
And so when you're able to give back to the community and make an impact in a base and then on a global level, it speaks volumes of what the potential of this movement is.
Right.
As you know, the military was actually the one that brought back essential oils. They were actually used in World War II. They were mandated in each soldier's first aid kit.
Really?
So now that I'm able to use that platform, and it's given both military families a voice of, hey, there is a need, and there are alternative ways instead of a cocktail of medication to treat this.
Definitely. Because it's better not to walk around like a zombie every day.
Exactly.
Which is what they've been doing.
My husband, he was going through severe depression, and it almost caused a divorce. Um, we were going through heavy, heavy issues, and just throw deployment in the mix and being Okonas, never seeing each other, never seeing family, you feel all alone. And so here I am able to help other people, but I can't even help my own family.
That's got to be hard right there.
And so I just made it a mission, and I said, no, we're going to do things a little bit differently. And my husband is actually the reason why I decided to focus on PTSD, because I saw the changes that he was making. And I said, oh my goodness, it's literally like a 180 before my eyes. I have to spread this message.
Nice. So that was like your aha moment. That's pretty good.
Absolutely. Because if I, speak selfishly, my health was one thing. And yes, the products did help me with my health. But when you see a loved one make a transition and it almost looks effortless, you're left speechless.
That's a great way to look at it. There, you have to sit back and actually watch it work,
right,
and see the transformation kind of right in front of your face. That's in your face marketing for you and to show to your audience, basically your clientele.
It's actually pretty funny because initially I didn't even believe him. I would just look at him and I would say, okay, he's probably just, being that loving husband, happy wife, happy life.
That is a thing. Yes.
There's only so long that you can live with that facade. And we now in our household, it's happy spouse, happy house.
Nice. That's it. That's a way better way of saying it too.
Oh, absolutely. We just realized, and he's the one that taught me, like, hey, you were able to help me when I didn't know I needed the help. And he taught me that how important it is to have that sanity and to be able to come home and still be sane. Because, if you've been deployed for so long and all you want is a bed, but then all you're hearing is your spouse yapping. Nobody wants that.
Not all at once.
One at a time. Let me take a nap first.
You got 10 minutes right now. Get on my calendar.
So it's my calling to help people, to serve in my own way. And I just want for people to understand that there is an alternative. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to wake up hating yourself, hating the day.
So as you started your business, Aceites de Vida, Oils of Life, right? I think
Oils of Life, yes.
I'm reaching way back to Spanish 101.
ADV, there you go.
I was way back. I had to reach in the Wayback Machine there. That's an awesome name. I like that name. Your website's really nice. If you could tell your mission statement to the audience, what would that be?
Wow.
Or your purpose.
My purpose in life is to help you find yours.
Ooh, all right. That's outstanding. Keeping it simple, it's awesome.
Exactly. Because, we know what our mission in life is. We just need that nudge, that person to push us outside of our comfort zone and to accept it, that, all right, this is what you want. You're just afraid of telling the whole world.
So everything that's on your site, I see wellness boxes. Are those subscription boxes, or is that just you build your own box?
So with my business, I can cater it to whatever your needs are. whether you want to focus on your immune system, on your parts of the body, on your emotional wellness, everything, because it's all intertwined. But some people like to prioritize certain things over the others. And
Okay.
it's through Young Living. Our products are through them, and I am a distributor, and it's being a brand ambassador is amazing because I'm able to provide people with the discounts, the promotions, the loyalty gifts, and our team is composed of either military spouses or service members.
Okay. Good team then.
Yes, we call them. I call them my oil warriors, my tribe. They're just absolutely amazing because of them is why I do this. Every time I see that they bring someone else on board, they're like, hey, this person no longer has night terrors. They can finally sleep throughout the whole night.
That's your perfect motivation right there. That's good.
Yeah.
So how did you get linked up with Buffer Lives?
Well, with essential oils, I was extremely sick myself. I spent 3 years having surgeries every 3 months. And I was about 23, 24. And I decided that, you know what, I don't care anymore. I'm sick of being on a cocktail of medication. Who's going to marry this person anyway? Joke's on me.
And there it is.
My high school sweetheart decided, me. So I had what's called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and they just weren't going away. And I even accepted, I said, well, I'm never going to have children, and that's okay. I'll just be the best aunt in the world.
Spoil everybody.
Right. And then essentials came into my life, and they just completely revolutionized my life because they taught me that now essentials aren't the end all be all. If you, heaven forbid, you need heart surgery, please go get your heart surgery.
Don't just rub oil on it.
Don't just put lavender oil on it. However, if we understand that plant-based products are what's always been around, that is the traditional medicine. That is what we've always used. It's from before the biblical era. And even doctors will admit to it that they're only taught about maybe 25% of med schools have requirements for nutrition classes. And if we learn how to use these products and focus on our gut health, focus on what controls the body, what controls the immune system, the immune system is 75% in your gut.
Yeah.
And if we learn how to just take care of our body, we won't end up needing that heart surgery.
Then you could just put oil on it.
Exactly. Oh, never mind. It wasn't heart surgery. It was just acid reflux.
We knew what it was.
So there are so many simpler ways to just identify. I don't claim to be an expert at all, but I've been doing this for 4 years, and I've learned a thing or two here.
Good. I mean, it's hard to promote something if you haven't learned about it, and it sounds like you are all in on it. It helped you personally. It helped your husband. It helped the two of you together to become a better unit, and now you're able to spread that help towards everyone else around you that gets into your tribe or your circle.
Exactly. Before I was on the call with you, I was actually teaching a class, and it was actually a class focused on beauty. And everyone, I guess, thought I was going to do a bunch of makeup tutorials and said no. It's actually quite the contrary. Let's get ourselves to that point. It's like, I'm not just going to throw you into the field. No, no, no. And it catches people by surprise, the way I structure my classes, because all of my classes are all free. I don't charge for anything at all. And it's just explain to people, you already have the resources. It's just you accepting to use them, because there's only so much that you can beat a dead horse.
Right. And I think it's awesome that you provide that service free of charge. And I'm sure that puts that light on in their head, saying there are good people in this world. They're not all out for a buck and to sell their ideas. They're actually here to help them.
Yes, absolutely.
That goes a lot longer than selling them something.
Absolutely. When people they ask me, well, how much is the product and stuff? I said, well, it depends what you're looking for. So our starter kit is $165, yes, but now maybe I'm not looking for any oils. Maybe I just want something that can help me sleep at night. Maybe I just want, the oils are going to be replacing your first aid kit pretty much. But if there's something else, like, oh, well, I have a child that just doesn't calm down. Well, let's cater to the child.
So the maintenance of the kit, you said it's $165 to start. So what's the average, say, renewal for oils and stuff?
There's no really average for renewals, because once you get your starter kit, it's $165, and it's like your new first aid kit, and it should last you about like 6 months or so. So the whole purpose of the products is that you start replacing all of the toxic products that you already have in your own home. Because if we look at the ingredients in them, for example, the word fragrance, what does the word fragrance mean? It's just a company's proprietary secret of toxic ingredients.
That's perfect. So it's like cleansing without going through the violent cleansing process.
Right. And so, we have over 800 products, from our laundry soap, our dish soap, hand soap, anything. When we think of, anything that has suds and bubbles, well, what is that's making it bubble? Oh, SLS. What was SLS used for? Oh, that was used as an engine cleaner. So I'm putting engine cleaner on my baby's head.
It's a great feeling.
And then we wonder why it's been skyrocketing cases of children born with cancer. Well, what are we bringing into our home? Because, just because it's out on the shelves doesn't mean that you have to buy it.
Right.
And it's just time to take responsibility.
Every time you walk down an aisle, something shiny is going to come out at you. You don't have to buy everything there.
Exactly. And then being able to I went from almost bankrupt, and because of massive medical bills, and I got nothing, no solution, to, now having just this financial surplus. And we're extremely happy that we're able to give back to the community, and our health issues have pretty much just become non-existent. Like, I feel amazing. Like, I feel better now than I did in high school.
That's amazing.
Like, my husband, he just tells me all the time, he's like, the fact that I can out PT these 18-year-olds, that says a lot.
Oh yeah. That's a motivator for him too. I know when I was becoming old Sarge in the Army, beating the young soldiers was my daily ritual. So that made me feel good every day to start my day by beating them.
Exactly. So, why not be able to do that naturally? Why not be able to do that without all of the toxic ingredients that, just because you may feel good right now doesn't mean that your body isn't being abused. And then 10 years from now, you're like, oh, well, where is that why is my why are my organs starting to shut down? Why am I getting some liver failure if I don't even drink?
Right. It's exactly right. And I'm sure it'll help with the arthritis stuff that comes later in life. It might ease that in as well, or ease that out,
Oh, absolutely.
possibly. Take care of yourself.
See, the majority of of products that are produced in labs and like the same exact prescription pills that you're going to be given, they have a very small percentage of synthetic essential oils in them. If you look them up, they do have that. They do show that. It'll have, like clove. It's a natural antihistamine. We have like 400 different essential oils, and they all have different uses. Things that I would use would help me with a different way, because within 20 seconds of you consuming anything, and by consuming, I mean smelling or touching, it's already in your bloodstream. In 20 minutes, it hits every single cell in your body. So what do you want to be consuming?
Something that's not going to kill you.
Exactly. And so when you walk down that aisle of detergents, let's look at the next time that you buy a detergent. Do you see the ingredients? Try to call that company and ask them, what are your ingredients? Chances are they're not listed.
Yeah, it's not a food product.
And it's not a requirement from the FDA. And so start to think, well, why not? Because it's cheaper and companies cut corners.
Anything to make the almighty dollar.
And it's sad because we have, service members that are literally sacrificing everything, and they can't even be provided with, a excellent healthcare system. So how are we taking care of our people?
Right. In the last 5 or 6 years, you've seen, especially in the Army, more of the holistic care instead of the drug care. It's more of the holistic, the whole mind, body, spirit thing. And I've seen changes in the soldiers that I train now, and from the time I got out till now, just based off of a different approach that actually is working. It's not voodoo. It's not witchcraft. It's just a proven thing that actually works. And if it was around when I was a young soldier, I probably wouldn't have so many things that went wrong with me. Now we're getting beat down in the Army for so long. But I know it's helping those that came after me, so I'm happy for that.
Absolutely. The reason why they work, why products, that have, for example, supplements and our vitamins, is because if you buy something at your local store, and I try to not name any brands, I don't want people to feel bad when they look at their cabinets. But when you're making that protein smoothie, when you're making the protein shake, whatever it is, those products, those supplements, they are only being absorbed maybe like 20% into your body. And then when you add essential oils into it, when you add our products, that absorption rate goes from about 20, 30% to 75, 80%. And it's because essential oils can travel so quickly into the body, and they actually know what to do. They're not made in a lab. They've been around forever. Like, man did not create them. And so they can cross through the blood-brain barrier. No other medication can do that.
That's incredible. You had me there for a second.
It's, mind blown.
Yes, it's blown. I didn't have my emoji going. So if you could give advice to an aspiring transitioning soldier or a fellow spouse like yourself that wanted to get into a business, what would you tell them?
Give me a call. Let me change your life. No, honestly, I would tell them, look in the mirror, and if you don't like what you see, let me help you so that you do love yourself again.
That's awesome. And it basically tells them to find that purpose.
Absolutely.
And that purpose should be right in that mirror every morning. Or as many times a day as they look at it.
People over profit every day, twice on Sunday.
Right. Every time. People first, mission last.
Yep.
So success always. So if you could, if you want to just give out your links or how people can get in contact with you for both a consultation or even to buy your products, you can throw them out now, and I'm going to put them on the show.
Sure.
As well.
I mean, if you guys want, you know what, I will give you my personal email, and that way you know that it's me answering, not some assistant, not some company getting your info. Like, I'm not going to sell your info to a third party. You can just contact me directly, and that's Jenny, Jenny .Gracia, Gracia @gmail.com. And that's not even my business one. That's my personal one.
That's personal. That's nice. Now, if you get a bunch of spam, it's not for me.
That's okay. I just want to make sure that people understand, I was never in it for the money, because if I was, I'm in the wrong business.
And if they do want to purchase some of your products, where do they go for that?
I will connect you directly.
Okay.
I have no problem giving my personal link. I'm on Instagram as well. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. Okay, if you want to add me, go ahead and add me.
Awesome. And that just proves everything you just said was true by saying you're wide open to help people. You just gave out your personal stuff to say, hey, I'm here to help you. That's awesome.
Not giving you straight to a company that, you have no idea who you're talking to. You're going to talk straight to me.
And not a robocall. That's good. They don't have to worry about getting a warranty call from you. That's good.
No scam likely.
Well, Jenny, it was great having you on here. I'll probably have you come on again in the future to see how many more people you've been able to help and see what else we can talk about. This was a good conversation.
Absolutely. It's been my honor. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time zone you're on, whatever time you're listening to this. And just remember, you're meant for greatness.
Awesome. Thank you, Jenny.
All right. Bye.
Well, thank you, Jenny. That was a great conversation. Our second guest this episode is Reden Dionisio, who is an active duty Navy hospital corpsman. When he was at a point in his career, he could see the end of the tunnel in the Navy. He started Fortis et Fidelis as a nest egg or a business to help him as he moves forward. He is here to share some of his story. So let's get Reden on the show.
All right, so Reden, I'll welcome you to the show. I want to take a lot of your time. I know you're still active duty, right?
Yeah. Just got off work, actually. I appreciate you for having me on, though, man.
I appreciate you stepping up and saying you wanted to be on and share your story. So let's learn a little bit about you, your story, whatever part of your life through your service, your current service, and how you came up with the idea for Fortis et Fidelis.
Yeah, so like I said, I appreciate you for taking the time. Just to start off, my service, I enlisted in 2003. Initially, I'm from the Philippines, but I grew up in California in a small little town in the Central California. And, I went for a semester of college and just right away, thought to myself, college right now isn't for me, because I wasn't really focused in my education. And I've said this before, I didn't want to waste my parents were, helping out financially, and I didn't want to waste their money, hard-earned money, if I wasn't serious about my education. So I was like, next thing was military. So the first thing I looked into was the Navy. And, at the time I wanted to be a nurse like my mom. So I was like, well, what's one job I can get in the Navy that's kind of like in the medical field? And, my recruiter told me about hospital corpsman. At the time, I didn't really know much about it. I didn't know what the job entailed. I was like, all right, sign me up for that, because, it was something medical.
You consciously joined when we were at war already. You didn't really know what the hospital corpsman's duties were. Did you know there was a green side and a blue side corpsman?
I didn't really find that out until later on, like I said, I kind of wanted to be independent on my own, and, I figured the military would, take me on that path, and kind of just get away from where I was at. Not that it was a negative where I was at. It was just like, I need to grow. I need personally, professionally, and things like that.
So you had to kind of spread your wings a little bit.
Yeah. Like I was 18 at the time, we all want to kind of get away and find our own path, and that was the journey I was in. I didn't know until after the fact, when I signed up, green side, blue side, what all that meant, what being a corpsman was. And, like I said, 17 and a half years, it's been a great ride, man. I'm truly honored to continue to serve and to also be part of this community, the hospital corpsman community.
Awesome. If you go back to my second episode, I have another good friend of mine on there, George Herrera. He got out after 14 years as a hospital corpsman as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he's a real good friend of mine, and I have a lot of respect for you guys.
I appreciate that, man.
So what made you want to start Fortis et Fidelis?
Yeah, so this was, I want to say, almost about 4.5 years ago. I kind of just started thinking about, at that time, I was about close to my 15 years, right around there. Close to it, about 13 or 14 years. And I was like, I just started thinking about the future after the results for the chief petty officer. I found out I didn't make it the first time. And for some reason, I just, I started thinking about the future and like what I was going to do after the military. And I kind of just went on, I told the story, I kind of went on this binge on Google and kind of just started looking at like, things, how to make money, or how to, other side businesses that I can start while I was still in the military. And one of the things that popped up was, a clothing company and like apparel. And, I always wanted to tie in the military with the with the apparel. And so that's how this whole thing kind of started initially. And, one of my mission from the get-go was just to find a way to give back to our military veteran and active duty community. And so, kind of started last year, but last year we created these memorial coins. So we had these created. Basically, these memorial coins are on one side it has the names and the information of the fallen service member. We send that along with a certificate, basically saying our saying that we're thankful and grateful for the service member, and we send these out to the families of the fallen.
Oh wow! Now, do you just reach out to them, or does someone reach out to you and get that started?
So yeah, that's kind of been since we started last year. Our struggle is like just finding a way to reach out to the actual families. I initially made 100 of these memorial coins. And one of my mission right now is just trying to find an organization that can help out with, getting not necessarily like personal information, but finding a way to have these sent to the families, whether that be through mail or having another organization on our part provide it to the families of the fallen.
That's awesome. One way could be to link in with the survivor benefits offices on a base or through the Pentagon somehow.
Yeah.
And they'll have some kind of way to link you in and put your name on their Rolodex. So when something happens, God forbid, that we have this organization that we can reach out to, they'll get something for the family as quick as they can get the information.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of the things I've been kind of like looking at in the past couple months is trying to link up with other organizations like Gold Star organizations and things like that. But obviously, they don't want to. They're not trying to give out too much personal information, which is understandable.
Okay.
Things like that. But yeah, I'll definitely look into that.
And if I can think about this stuff to get that out there, to make it more of a streamline for you, I'll definitely send you that information.
Awesome, brother. I appreciate it.
And where are you at right now as far as station?
Yeah, so currently I'm stationed here in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. I'm with the 2nd Marine Division. Been here since September of 2019. So.
Wow. Okay. You're thinking you're gonna stay there for the last 2.5 as well, or are they gonna move you again?
Yeah, that's currently. I don't know yet. Yeah, that's one plan, to stay here and finish it out, or go to another duty station and finish out my 20 or so years in the military.
Right. Get your final spot, and then go on to your grown-up job after
yeah,
that.
Man, time for the real world,
Yeah, it's a whole weird transition, but it's fun once you get to the other side.
Most definitely.
So how long have you been on your podcast as well? How long have you been doing that?
Yeah, so with the podcast, actually, this initially started out, I don't know if you've listened to some of the earlier episodes, but they started out as Facebook Lives in our Facebook group. It started off like that back in 2018, I believe. And then it wasn't until 2019, late 2019, I turned most of those episodes into podcast episodes. And then after I got back from my last deployment last year, I started picking back up and interviewing active duty and veterans who are what I call in their second service. They have their next mission in life, whether that be through entrepreneurship, business, owning a business, things like that.
That's awesome. It's awesome that we have these tools now where you could actually start up something and make it into something even bigger with just another piece of technological tools. So that's amazing now how that happens nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so easy nowadays to just, if you wanted to just share your story and your journey, it's easy. Like, I mean, right now we just got connected through, a Facebook group, and now we're, you're interviewing me for your podcast. So it's crazy how that connection works out.
And the audience is learning about you. I'm learning about you, and it's an amazing. It's amazing for me to actually get to know people this way. I mean, I haven't seen you in person. Hopefully, someday we're able to do that.
Yeah.
If I get to leave Tennessee and just cross the border into North Carolina, shake hands.
Yeah, hopefully this whole situation, around the world is kind of get back to what it was, whenever that may be.
Yeah, at some point it will be, and we'll all rejoice, and then something else will go on and make us angry again. So we just got to keep staying positive and moving forward. Is what I like to say.
Yeah, most definitely, man.
So yeah, I'm guessing you just operate from home right now until you're complete your service.
Yeah, I use one of our bedrooms as my little office here, with my podcast set up, and some of the inventory that I have for the apparel company.
Okay, so you just do hold some of the merchandise there.
Yeah, I do hold some, but for the most part, I do have a third party that does the shipping and fulfilling. So,
Okay. How did you get linked up with Bunker Labs?
yeah. So with Bunker Labs, I was at a conference. It was a military influencer conference, and I met up with Dean. I can't pronounce his last name. Bushku. I'm sorry if I butchered that, but it was Dean. He attended the same conference as I did, and I think that was the first time I heard about Bunker Labs. I know I've seen it just on Facebook and just on the internet in general, and about their mission and what they do. And a lot of the Facebook friends that I have are somehow connected with Bunker Labs, and I figured I'd look into it, connect with the people. I mean, it's just one of those tools that we as active duty or veterans, one of the many out there that we can use to just, set us up for, like I said, for that second service, whatever that may be.
And the Bunker Labs, they help you with a great network. So you can jump on there and you can ask any question you want into the Facebook group, and someone on there is going to have the answer, or they're going to say they got a guy or gal who can help you out, and they'll connect you to. So then your network grows, their network grows. It's a great concept what Bunker Labs did when they had their live events with the musters. It was amazing meeting all the people and hearing their visions of their businesses and their nonprofits as they were moving forward.
Yeah. I mean, is there a chapter close to where you're at, or?
There was one in Nashville before all this started. I'm hoping it comes back after we open up everything again. So I'm not far from Nashville.
Yeah, I think there's one here in Raleigh is the closest one, I think. But yeah, just because of what's been going on the past year, I don't think they've had anything live.
I think all their stuff has been virtual.
Right. Yeah.
In terms of safety. So are there any other either veteran organizations or even to share you are a chief petty officer now? Is there like a chief petty officer group that kind of helps each other out with this kind of stuff as they move forward?
It's pertaining to just
starting businesses or things like that.
I'm part of like some other different Facebook groups. I mean, there's like chief petty officer groups as well, but mainly just focused on like military career and things like that. But I mean, there is one not organization, but a company that I initially, when I first started, that kind of helped me out with branding and, with my apparel, industry Threadworks. They're out it's ran by, he's a former Navy SEAL. He's got his own, company out there that his slogan is basically the brand behind the brand. Basically he helps, clothing brands with, starting out, finding their customer avatar. So would you say, and finding their mission, who they would serve as far as like who their customer be as far as like the clothing goes. They helped out. He helped out. Ryan Williams helped out tremendously in the beginning.
That's good. That's a good asset to have right there.
Yeah, man. Hey, he'd be a good guest too. Like I would recommend to reach out to him. Yeah,
Ryan Williams, right?
And I can connect you as well.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. If you could give advice to an aspiring either active duty or someone transitioning from service, or even a spouse, on how to get into their business, what would it be?
If I can give one advice, for a long time I started just thinking about like, my next step, what I can do after the service, like what that would be. And I spent too much time thinking instead of doing. So if there's somebody out there, veteran, spouse, or somebody that's still in the service, that that has an idea of what they want to do or has found what their next purpose after the service, I would just say, man, just learn as much as you can about it and just put your foot, step right into it, jump and take that leap and, just go for it. I've made so much mistakes with this apparel, with this brand, with the podcast, but it's not really, I wouldn't say they're like mistakes, but they're more of like lessons learned, right? The only mistake you make is if you don't learn from it. So, you're going to have those stumbles, you're going to have those obstacles, but if you have that mentality of, never quitting and knowing that, trying to get better each and every day, whether that just be, 1% better every day, but always learning about the next mission, that next purpose that you want to do. Just take that leap and just go for it.
That's awesome advice. Just like Wayne Gretzky said, you miss 100% of the shots.
Take. Like we spent too much time on the sidelines, man. Like people just would rather talk about what they want to do instead of start doing it. You gotta be that. You gotta be that man in the arena. Like just go out there and do it. Take action.
Right, and you make your own history. You make your own future that way instead of waiting on that next step to come to you or letting fear hold you back. And so that's great advice right there.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be that guy or gal, 10, 20, 30 years down the line and be like, man, I wish I would have. Like, I don't want to be that person, I just want to be known, I took the chance, just take that chance. And, if it works out, if it doesn't, so be it. But at least you took that chance.
Exactly. That's awesome. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to before we end the interview here?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to thank everybody that's supported the brand Fortis et Fidelis. Throughout this the short time we've been around. For all the podcast listeners, I appreciate you all. Thank you for helping us be one of the top military-hosted podcasts. I just want to thank everybody for the support, and hopefully you continue to support us and our mission. And I just want to thank you, Richard, again for allowing me to come on your podcast and allowing me to share my story, man. And I appreciate what you're doing.
Awesome. Thank you for being on. And I look forward to talking to you again in the future as you get closer to that 20 or the date that that you're going to hang up boots and go into your fun job after that. We'll talk again and see where you are and where your glide path is going. That'll be a great story.
Awesome, man. I appreciate that, Richard.
All right. You have a good night and enjoy your family.
All right. Thank you. You as well.
All right. Have a good one.
Wow. Those two great conversations. Another great episode. Jenny and Reden, you were amazing to talk to and learn about your stories and, of course, your passion. We appreciate both of you for taking the time to come on and share your story. Our next episode, we'll talk to a veteran business owner, motivator, so look out for that. As always, thanks for taking some of your time to spend with us on The Misfit Nation. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and share the link as much as possible. We appreciate you. Till the next time, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling, because we are The Misfit Nation.